handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare. Puppets dance, the strings are tight. Shadows whisper in the dead of night. This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it.
It's really cool, by the way.
Bullshit!
Say it loud. We
Bullshit.
won't quit. This is some bullshit.
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
Paper thin truths that crumble like ash. Golden
Negative
bombs
function.
built on stolen cash. We raise our fists. We break the mold. Your house of cards is getting old. Static hums, the wires ignite. Truth's a bomb, we're ready to fight.
Bullshit!
This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it. Say it loud. We won't quit. This is some bullshit.
Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now. Are we up and running? We are up and running. Hi, chat room. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Good to see you. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide. You know, I'm always on the hunt for a good title, kids. And on a day like this, when we were all on kind of like Trump stagger watch, or Trump, I was never one of the people who believed he was actually dead and replaced by a dumber dummy. It just didn't seem to fit for me. I feel like we would have seen a lot worse, reactions out of people if it was close to that. But it's not good. Let's just say that. Let's just start there. It's not good. And he made his first appearance. They're like, we got to trot him out and do something. So he announced we've got warships headed to Venezuela. There's nuclear submarines parked off their coast. Apparently they blew a boat out of the water recently. Putin's meeting with Xi Jinping and Modi and Kim Jong-un in this kind of like militaristic BRICS gathering. Obviously, the Russia-Ukraine thing is stalled out. Obviously, I mean, maybe there's one piece of good news in his world, which is Trump Plaza Gaza seems to be a go. Thanks, Uncommitted. You're assholes. But if all that stuff could sit. All that stuff can be pushed to the side, ladies and gentlemen. All that, but hang on to your hat. We have to talk about moving Space Command from its temporary headquarters in Colorado to its permanent headquarters in Huntsville, because it was always kind of going to go there. But huge news, obviously, and great opportunity for Trump to take some, like 3 softball questions, 2 from Steve Doocy and 1 from, somebody from inside his own press team. And so we'll look at those remarks. Also, right at the same time, interestingly enough, because sickly Trump and will he be alive and all that kind of stuff certainly drew a lot of eyeballs, possibly away from the fact that the congressional Republicans and the Democrats were meeting with victims of Jeffrey Epstein in a private meeting before the public testimony tomorrow. And nothing draws kind of eyeballs away from the people walking out of that meeting, including Nancy Mace, who apparently left the meeting crying like geez, is he dead? Right? kind of gathering. So let's take a look at some of that. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/AlSparks. Great way to support the show. Thank you to our patrons. We wouldn't be here without you. And it's because of you that I'm one of the. How many knives do I have in my pocket right now? You can tell I've been doing honeydew stuff when I'm around the house because I always have, I always have a knife in my pocket. But this is my knife tool that also has wrenches built in. It's very sweet, and it has one of those you could pry a nail, but you can also set a nail as you're driving it in. It's fantastic, really great. And then, of course, just your standard kind of Black Ops, pop knife, but perfect for packages and home invasions. I mean, if they come into your house, I would obviously, if I was a home invader, I would pack a lunch. I got a much bigger, to-do list. I'm not going to randomly. Obviously, I'm only going to invade someone's home if I have a filled out agenda and obviously a manifesto written. There's a lot of work to be done. You can't just go storming into people's houses. Right. That's adorable. But this thing's pretty freaking sweet. Anyways, you could tell I've been opening packages, wrapping wires, doing all that kind of fun stuff. This is also my mic cleaning cloth that goes over here. I don't know why it was over there. It's just obviously things need to settle down. There's a lot going on. Thank you guys. So is that a knife in your pocket, or are you just happy are you just glad to see you? I don't know that a knife is indicative of someone that's glad to see you. Is that a knife in your pocket, or are you just worried that I'm here? It's more like that. A Leatherman? No, it's interesting. You'd think having my ear pierced with a leatherall, I would have one. But on me at all times, but I don't. I'm as redneck as the environment will allow. So when I'm in Kentucky, forget about it. Like full buck knife on the hip on a belt loop. Here it's just clip knife in the pocket. That's as far as I can go, And then of course, if you're in San Francisco or Los Angeles, you just walk around with a Nerf bat. War, what is it good for? Well, what's interesting. And I'm going to float this out there, and I want a real answer from you guys. I've heard that phrase all my life. War, what is it good for? The question is in a war, are both sides equally guilty? Dum, 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 bam, 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 ba-rump, ba, 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 ba. One of the things that people who say war, what is it good for, often will cite is that we should have never gotten involved in World War II and the Jews had it coming. That crowd, right? War actually, again, declaring war randomly on someone else, say, I don't know, Iraq, bad. I would say bad, right? And depends on who attacks first. I completely agree. So the idea that it is it war from the other party's perspective? Is it really war? Or is it just self-defense? Is it, just defense of your people? Declaring war on someone is something like, I hope you know this means war, is the secondary aspect of it. The first, the aggressor is the warring party. And in all wars that we've had, the defending party, in whatever it is included in the war. Suddenly, these people are fighting a war, like the Ukrainians are fighting a war. Well, is that how you would describe it? Because if war isn't good for anything and war is an act of aggression, then they're just defending themselves. Hence, Department of Defense instead of Department of War. And why I think it matters that we kind of blow those conversations off. Ukraine is having had war declared on them, but they are not committing war. So the war is not the defense. Well, that's the definition. It's interesting that people, when you go, what the hell is war? War? Good God, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Well, wars of aggression, I completely agree. But what are you supposed to just take it if you're attacked? Right? Because war's not good for anything, so we might as well just let them roll through Bucha and bomb everything. War isn't good for anything, so let's just let it happen. Anyways, like, that part of it has always bugged me. It was once the Department of War, exactly, and it was changed to Department of Defense for a reason, because we don't want to start any fucking wars. You could argue that it became the Department of War leading up to in Iraq, because obviously Iraq didn't attack us. Why do humans make war? What are you talking about? Chimpanzees make war. You want to have a really fucked up afternoon? Go look into, like, what chimp tribes do to each other. Ants declare war on each other. They just don't use it. They don't do it in English. Yeah, so that's the point, Cat Dude. Defense is not war? Well, not if you're saying war is good for nothing. Right? If you're saying that every party in the war is equally guilty and that it has no purpose, right? What did Orange Boy say today? Oh, you're going to find out. We're going to go through it. And there are a couple of things I'm going to point out. Number one is, just from the top, you do not see him enter or exit the room. He's standing the whole time, but you don't see him walking in and out. Kind of telling. They start the video when he's already there, and he does not walk out of the room. He stands there, kind of turns around with his back to the crowd. Yeah, you don't see his... Well, we'll see. I don't know if you see much of his hands, because I haven't watched all of it. But I do know... I was like... Once I saw that it started with him already in the room, I was like... I fast-forwarded to the end of it, and I was like, did they let him leave? Nope. He just turns around, starts chatting with people, and then they run the press out. Mr. President, we cannot afford a mine shaft gap.
Gee, I wish we had one of them doomsday machines.
Right. So, yeah, that would be the mini strokes thing, meaning his leg doesn't work quite well. So here's the standing theory. Last Monday, he had that marathon gathering. Tuesday or Monday night, he has some sort of mini stroke. Not a full drop, but borderline, like, if we don't treat this immediately with presidential level medicine, he'll have Bell's palsy and we'll never be able to explain it. He's off the grid for 3 days. They get him up and walking around. It's still not good. They take him either to Walter Reed or a special room in the White House, and they're like, we got to start making an appearance because people are asking questions. They have those pictures from a distance, and then it takes him a week. It's a week since he's done anything to kind of get the energy back up to do this. It is one of the shorter gatherings. It is relatively meaningless. He's almost an hour late for it, which is not surprising because he's always like that. But there's a lot of signs in this, and we'll watch for them as we go. Don't forget to hit that like and share the show. Annoy the maggot in your life. Also, I would like to point out that over the course of this, there will be several moments where I'm sure that I point out his physical limitations, abnormalities, or his lack of mental acuity. If at some point this is caused by mental defect and his brain is decaying, I am not mocking that. I am simply mocking a man who mocked a person with disabilities in how he's presenting himself, assuring everybody through ego that he is fine and dandy, and yet still... Okay, so let's go, let's take a look at this. Right, okay. I will say also, well, here we go. We'll jump in right away. See if the audio is any good on this one, because they tend to be... This is... Okay, so...
I can't...
There we go.
I rate a 10. I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans, and these are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement. 7 years in the making, as you know.
7 years in the making. I've been waiting with bated breath for this. In case you don't know, they're moving Spacecom from the temporary quarters that were held over because post-COVID we had a bigger set of fish to fry, as it were, to Huntsville, where it was always going to be.
Going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a...
Oh, shit.
It's called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama.
Hasn't it always been called Rocket City?
We love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points.
Yeah, it probably don't bring up the fact that everybody thinks you're moving this there to reward them for voting for you. You're only sending jobs to states that voted for you.
I think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right?
Also, what the fuck is happening here? Seriously, what the fuck is that? Like, this isn't even, he's not even bothering. And this business back here, like, nap's over, we got to do this thing. Honestly, is that where they were attaching the electrodes?
But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it, Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds.
And almost none of them will come from people who live in Alabama currently.
Millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions, because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions.
Look at this guy. No, it's millions. What the fuck? Huh?
Dollars. Most important.
Or it says billions and he misread it, which is entirely possible.
This decision will help America defend.
Or he made them write millions of billions on the paper. It actually says, write down millions of billions. That sounds great.
And dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank.
Sorry, if you're going to call it the high frontier, why the fuck are you moving it out of Colorado? Rocky Mountain high in Colorado. What? The high frontier, I'm fairly certain that's downtown Denver. The high frontier, that's legalizing weed across the country and seeing what happens.
Secretary Pete Hegseth, he's doing a fantastic job. And
yes, fantastic job staring at your fucking notes because he's petrified of what you might actually say. Also, he has to speak, and pardon me, but he's a little bit drunk.
Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal. It
is big deal being Secretary of the Air Force. Yeah, it's a huge deal. I mean, if we don't have the right secretary, they shut that fucker down.
Everybody wanted to know, what are you doing? I also want to thank Senators.
Yes, I'm sure every time you see someone that isn't on the team, they immediately go, what are you doing? Hey, Trump. Hey, fuckhead. What are you doing?
Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loves you, Mr. President.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can.
To produce you by producing her daughter who produced you, or her son who produced you. Who gives a shit? Like,
She had to be.
Ew. Indirectly. The bank shot of genetics.
Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach.
And a terrible senator.
I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. Auburn. But Tommy, Auburn won, is right. They did. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and a fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous.
Yeah, unless you're, of course, a dedicated member of the military who was waiting for a promotion that you've deserved for years.
Coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, thank you very much. You're doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends. Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force. So important.
It says we, but I want to put in I, and it existed already.
You know, we were losing the race in space.
Mainly in the face.
Badly to China and to Russia. and now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablish SpaceCom with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the SpaceCom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they
Wrongfully obstructed.
moved him to a different locale. And
Yes, it's a locale. Have they been telling him he needs to change his diet while he was in the hospital? You need a locale diet. You mean I can eat anywhere I like the environment?
today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this, and this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting.
That's why we can't have SpaceCom there, because they do everything by mail there. There's almost no females.
So they have automatically crooked elections, and we can't.
Yeah, how the fuck do you think we got Lauren Boebert? You don't think that was... I mean, come on.
Have that when a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections,
They've always had it, though.
because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also.
Why? Were you going to have to take a vote from the people there, and you thought they'd vote against having Rocket City in, I don't know. Never mind. So stupid.
Huntsville SpaceCom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it.
Yeah, absolutely. NASA's obviously going to be very big, but also the Olympic gymnastics team. Most of the soybean growers want to be involved. Everybody wants to be involved in it. The coal miners union, they want to be kind of the antithesis of it.
And Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before.
Yes. And I pray to God it stays that way, because I don't actually want a Golden Dome over the United States. I would not. I understand it's a colloquialism or a nickname you're giving it, but I don't want planes falling out of the sky because they're bouncing against some sort of gold cloche you put over the fucking country.
The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it.
They have to be, dumbass. It won't work if it can cross through their airspace. We're gonna have to do a deal with them to co-opt some of their airspace for it to even fucking work, stupid. Otherwise, I guess it's the Golden Dome minus Alaska. Fuck Montana. Too bad, New York.
And that'll be great. But Canada,
Totally great.
very much to be included in that. And then we're going to work something out with them, I hope.
Yeah, something like that. Cheese for gold.
It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want.
Oh, by the way, he does this story with almost everything like this. So it's not okay, let's be really clear. He thinks this kind of stuff is bullshit, that it's a waste of time, that it's something you should be able to sign on a piece of paper. And the idea of assigning someplace to it's just not interesting. So, and he thinks it'll be embarrassing if he doesn't understand the meaning of it or the value of it. So if it turns out to be shit later on, he doesn't want it to be his fault. We moved this from there, and I'll tell you why. Remember when Rudy Giuliani moved the terrorism response team headquarters in New York to the Twin Towers? Remember that shit? And everybody was like, what kind of a dumbass moves the headquarters from where they would have been safe to a place that was actually bombed, so that if there was another bombing, it would hit them first? Yeah. So that he has that on his mind all the time when he talks about these things, because he has no idea if he's making the right move or not. So what he wants to do is, it's the same thing he does when he has somebody he adds to his cabinet and he has no idea what their fucking job will even be. Came highly recommended, right? He came very highly recommended, meaning if he fucks up, it's because other people told me he'd be good. Same thing is true here. So he's just like, a lot of these people called me all the time. They're like, do this. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm busy. I got to think of it. They were like, this is the shit. That's why. It's about avoiding responsibility for whatever happens later. Seriously.
And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So
they're all politicians.
They fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Yeah. Also, because of the look at the look on Katie Britt's face, and she's looking at his remarks. Look at his face. The only one that's looking at him and smiling is Vance, because that's my fucking job, right? And they've set this up like. You're going to do a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason.
Yeah, cool story, bro. Yeah, finally, Huntsville. Like, if we didn't have a Huntsville, we would have to put this, I don't know, in the middle of the Gulf of America on a boat.
First administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished.
What domain would that be? By the way, does anybody know in Space Domain 2 the drunkard comes out?
Spacecom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you through the
because if we seize that domain, but we have no way to call them.
Force independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons.
Well, okay, because Werner von Braun and all the Nazis that we got during the Operation Paperclip looked at this and said, it looks like Deutschland in the springtime.
The next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DOD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say Spacecom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on.
Yes, precisely. Thank you. Yeah, and did he get out a gridded map and draw exactly where the buildings should be?
But the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever.
Yes, the leaps and bounds area. That's above this. I think that's above the stratosphere and just slightly to the left of the ozone layer is the leaps and bounds domain.
The skies will control the future of warfare.
I don't know. I'm going to call bullshit real quick because I'm fairly certain the sky stops when space starts. Okay, big debate. Chat room. Chat room. I think we all agree that the sky stops when space starts. Yes? I don't want to hear any of this night sky bullshit either. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's quiet. It's kind of stupid. Maybe there's, let's see. Let me jump down here. Maybe there's another version of it where the volume's higher.
Well, thank you very much. It's
Okay.
a very...
Yeah. So that's louder. Okay, good. Thank you. I beg your pardon.
Place, right time, for the right reason. That domain of place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it.
What the fuck? You would have the right place to put it. That's so fucking odd. Is this how he talks when he's? What do you think it is? Gin or bourbon? Okay, hold on. Here we go. Right place to put it. Pick up where we left off.
For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well,
yeah, we saw that part.
Own assessments, and where did they say Spacecom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air...
Don't you all feel good that you got together today? By the way, are all the, anti-big government people, you guys are just fucking cool with this giant waste of time? Why don't you just do it? Why don't you just sign a piece of paper and it's done? Unless you're, making a point of fuck Colorado, which... Good luck in the midterms, asshole. To try and kiss Alabama's ass like you have to.
Force your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are
Yes, so Russia, China, North Korea, I guess, switch your target from Colorado to Huntsville. All I see right now is a bunch of like red X's moving across a map to another place from other, like in every adversarial country in the world.
Ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens.
Yes, nothing says the peace president like controlling the future of warfare in space.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Sure, Katie, let me move the microphone down for you.
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has...
Why is it the rightful home? Could it possibly be that it looks like 1943 Germany?
...worked together.
By the way, I'm not kidding about that. Hold on one second. I'll bring that up in a second. But let's see. Huntsville, Rocket City, Deutschland in the springtime. Springtime for Huntsville and Germany in spring. Yeah. They have this is wonderful in the U.S. rocket census. They have the Beergarten, yes, in the spring. Werner von Braun's legacy will not be estimated. Okay, this is the, I'm here you, like, just in case you think I'm full of the shit. Yeah. Rocket City, this is the, here I am, your rocket queen, oh yeah. So, in springtime, Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City, henceforth known as the Rocket City Spur, celebrates its German heritage. Boy, does it! With cultural events, while the city's parks and botanical gardens bloom in the milder weather. The nickname comes from the post-World War II arrival of German rocket scientists led by Werner von Braun, who helped build America's space program in the city. They have German-themed events in the springtime for Werner and paper clips. Bear Garden at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, held weekly from late spring through the fall. This free event features authentic German food, international and domestic beers, and live music. Also, but the showers have been shut down, sorry. Okay, and all beneath a massive Saturn V rocket that we could turn on at any moment, so mind your P's and Q's there, mister. Werner von Braun's legacy, while not a specific event, the story of German scientists is central to the city's identity, as detailed in exhibits at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, where I've been a couple of times, by the way. It's a really good time. And that's where we got to the name. Yeah, here's where we got to the name of the Rocket City and the annual spring events in Huntsville, and yes, home for the German rocket team. Why is it known as Rocket City? Because where else are you going to call it? Trump thinks he names it Rocket City. So I just wanted to be clear about that in case you guys didn't know that. I thought I was fucking around. This is, yeah. Hold on. Let me do one thing. Chat room. How many people knew that in the chat room, by the way? How many people knew that story? In the chat room. Yes? Yeah? Yeah, was is the chat room? Yes? No, you don't sprechen Sie? This is a true story, you know, and I know this because I've been there, darling. Oh, it's so boring. You guys want a coffee or something? Ice. Oh. Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Look at the helmet, the guy in the back row. Oh yeah, I love that guy. He's fantastic. You didn't know this? I'm so glad I'm sharing this information to you. It's the kitchen lady. Yes, it is the kitchen lady. This is her. Absolutely. Yeah. Rockin' Shot. Rockin' Shot will always be Rockin' Shot to me. Good old Rockin' Shot. Rockin' Shot, Tennessee. All right, here we go. This is try to go back to this. Yes, this dude is like in the running, as far as I'm concerned, to win the Alabama Televangelist Expialidocious Award. Alabama Televangelists Expialidocious Award for this year, 2025, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kind of, let me tell you something. If there was a large explosion in this room right now, this man would be the only witness because his brain and head would survive. Even if the rest of his body was shredded, that capping system is amazing. Let me tell you. This is the only man who, when he combs his hair, hears a clicking sound. This is like, and Katie Britt, Katie in red. I can't believe it took me a split second. Is blabbing to you. Here we go.
Both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called
Yeah, because it was bipartisan. Everybody knew this is eventually where it was going.
home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our war fighter is put first. And we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen.
Hang the fuck out. Wait a second. Blah, 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 blah. There is not a single spot on Earth that is closer to space than any other. I'm just saying. That's not how space works. Well, I take it back. The atmosphere's thinner at the North Pole and the South Pole. So arguably, if there wasn't a treaty, we could launch from there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tommy, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I've been a big old fan of rockets for a long time. I like the shape of them. I think that whole thing where Biden wanted to make it look like a big vagina was a mistake. It just loses all of its aerodynamics.
For our state of Alabama, we need help.
We need help with math and science shit. Wait, what?
For our state of Alabama, we need help in our military. We need to catch up.
We need help in our military. We got all these trans people running around, and I don't know about you. Look, sure, I'm more afraid of trans people than I am an armed, unknown person walking at me. Like if I knew a trans person had a rifle, I would be more afraid of them. And so that logically, an army of trans people would be terrifying in my own mind, but we can't do that for Katie Britt reasons. So,
and as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now,
slow down with all that technological mumbo jumbo there, Coach. A lot of us haven't had a chance to read the manual. We gotta, there's we do space and we do it better than other people done it. But we gotta do more of what we done.
this move will save the taxpayers $480 million.
What?
It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have NASA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX.
Oh, it's interesting. Blue Origin got a mention first. Interesting. It's behind a secure wall. We got a lot of hills. We will see the space engines coming over the hill. We'll get a good drop on them. We will not be space custard.
It is the perfect place for Space Command.
No. I'm just gonna getting shit in and out of there, especially large equipment. It's a pain in the ass. So you got to build a lot of the stuff there from scratch. You got to bring it in, break it down, and it's not exactly like driving someplace out to Houston or out into Cape Canaveral or any of these places. It's not perfect. You could argue that maybe, but for the tornadoes, parts of Kansas would be perfect, right? That's the only thing that makes them imperfect. The hills are the opposite. That's what you're trading off. The hills are supposed to stop the tornadoes, essentially.
Today, and I've spoke with the president for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere,
Really? Because you guys were, what, planning to steal the election back then?
because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it...
He's like, it is? You don't say. They told me to keep my face this way so you don't notice that half of it's drooping.
means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this, and we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump...
A huge space command, by the way, that doesn't cost any money, that actually saves us money. We're going to build a huge building that's smaller than the building we already have in Colorado. It's going to bring us a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunity, but no money.
Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, so he just said, well, I look forward to welcoming you to the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama. He's never going to make it down there, dum-dum.
JD, would you like to say something?
Sure. Well, Mr. President.
JD, would you like to say something? It's written there that you speak next. Then when am I? When am I? Panic setting in. This guy, I think he's probably an android. This guy might be a medical device disguised as a human being. Like he's like one of the Optimus bots. They just put a human-looking skin on it, and the wig. They were like, fuck, he can't be bald, and so they had to throw a wig on him at the last second.
Thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive.
He's not kidding, by the way. Wright-Patterson is the other place that they were talking about, and it went to Huntsville instead because Trump doesn't want to help J.D. Vance. I'm not kidding. Like, Wright-Patterson's another reasonable place to put it. It's so stupid.
So it's in Alabama, but as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans
Why?
ought to appreciate
Because the Germans liked it when we moved them there.
it and ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber...
The battle of the future will not be in the skies. It will be past the skies into the space.
security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force, and I think an equal
Rename Space Force. There was already part of the Air Force.
visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Literally, that's the distinction they were making, is that the reason Space Force was created was because there's no air. There's no air in space. So we can't put space under the Air Force because there's no fucking air. That's why. I'm not kidding. Like, it's a distinction and a technicality that's kind of important. Why would the Air Force cover someplace where there's no fucking air? All right.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you
Anybody else?
say?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept.
Yes, I'm greatly relieved. Right up there with the release of the Epstein files and the tariffs paying for the tax cut.
You think about it.
I'm sorry, I left out the 2-week-old health care plan.
Redstone Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security.
Yeah, it's not this or that. It's this and that. You know, you are right about that, but some of it is.
You think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national security.
Yes, absolutely. Proximity to trailer parks, low-income people around that are easy to broom, a lot of lunatics that'll keep foreigners away. If they see any Chinese or Russian or anybody looking vaguely Asian or Middle Eastern, the rednecks surrounding the area will run them off before they can get anywhere nearby. The tendency for everybody to shoot at shit in the sky, no matter what it is, will protect the environment. Also, the Stuckies. The Stuckies. And the total lack of jobs where we can basically pay these fuckers anything we want.
All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time.
Right now. Right away. Right wing.
Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and all of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Anybody?
Let me just say, Mr. President.
What do you mean anybody? How about everybody, you dumb motherfucker? Now, he answers questions at the end of this, but usually when he's ready to hog a mic, he's not in this situation because he has no idea if this is the right decision or not. And he's worried, like, in the back of his mind, he's like, I moved Space Command to fucking Huntsville, and then we were attacked from space. They're going to blame me. I'm not kidding. That's part of what he's thinking.
I want to say thank you. And thank you for doing this.
But go ahead, asshole. By the way, what the fuck? Who wears a tan suit to the Oval Office? You prick. Sorry.
Because it was the right thing to do. All the
right suit, wrong time.
They look
wrong place.
All the numbers. Huntsville was the place to go, and like you say, it was.
We checked all the boxes. It was the perfect DEI choice.
Pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to.
Yeah, he always makes it right when he pulls out. Just think, we could have had a second Eric. Sorry. If only he had done it before Don Jr.
To say thank you again for a grateful nation, and to the state of Alabama, we're very grateful. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hello.
Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage.
Space is the ultimate high ground. And that's why we have to set up nuclear missile silos on the moon. That way we can hit anybody at night.
Is the ultimate high ground.
Not really. It's that whole fucking reentry thing. You do realize if you fire a bullet from space, you know, it'll burn up before it hits anybody.
What we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, we're going to change the name from Rocket City to Leather City. They're going to take that. Dominance is the name of our game. We're going to take all those rockets and just wrap them in leather with studs and give them little whips. Dominance is the name of the game.
It goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thanks, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, the Golden Dome is wait. The Golden Dome is to keep everyone else out of space? Sorry, we're setting up Spacecom. What are we going to do? Shoot down everybody else's, like, space exploration rockets? Is that the idea now?
Please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. And obviously, national defense is a huge issue. And when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1. And for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But, Mr. President, thank you for making priorities of defense and the warfighter and the safety of this nation. And in the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Yeah, don't let it bother you that we're absolute ass, and we're in education, we rank 53rd in American states. I read that. I didn't read it. They were just a series of, like, I won't call them hieroglyphics, more like cave paintings on a stall in a come and go outside of Birmingham.
Listen,
let us pray. Lord, bless these people who are among us. We have known that the devil has tried to bring his evil ways into our midst for a very long time, don't you know? Sorry, I just expected a sermon.
As chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security.
Speaking of Golden Dome, wait a minute. Does Trump think Golden Dome is named after his hairdo? Yes, that's the main Lego guy's father.
And the president
the Lego movie was that long ago. This is him grown up. What if you
held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command.
Yeah, and you guys got the participation trophy because it was already there from World War II, you dumb motherfucker. What are you talking about?
If y'all remember, at the end of that competition where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns.
Sorry, Trump was like, Alabama, really? And so he redid it and they won again. He was like, fuck.
Alabama came in first in that second competition.
Yes, they came first in the second. In number one, in number two, they're number one. And they're number one in number two. So you can't argue with success.
His Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results, said it was fair, and the president named Huntsville. It was the
yeah, you all saw it.
Administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this president standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs. That's
Jesus Christ. How many people were against this that they got to stand there and defend this so bad? How bad a fucking decision is this? That like everybody from the state going, everybody said this is the worst fucking thing you could possibly do. But we won fair and square, okay? Seriously. We like won once and then it fucking did that. What the fuck? Y'all keep talking about how we suck. We won fair and square both times on his criteria. Fuck. Does anybody else want to come up and get really defensive about why anything involved with science should be in Alabama? Come on, man.
Alabama.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Thank you very much. Good job.
So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now. You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else.
See, that's why I'm not kidding. They laugh about it. They think it's funny. He's not kidding. Look at his fucking face. He's like, I don't want to hear about this shit anymore. This is bullshit president stuff. This is not the kind of stuff. You think I want pussy from Alabama? That's what he's thinking. I'm not kidding. You can tell. You can fucking tell. You don't call me about this shit anymore. We did this. I signed that thing on. Fuck it. I'm golfing. Like that's. I feel like shit. I don't want to be out here. Look at him.
But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal.
Then do it. I hate this. I want to thank you guys. We'll just say thank you.
Out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just over the last few minutes literally shot out a boat, a drug.
Sorry, I don't care what kind of bowel movements you've had, sir. We literally shot out a boat? Jesus Christ. Doc, get over here. What? I was on the toilet. I think I literally shot out a boat. What? Literally shot. What does that even mean?
When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that...
whether you're still in the closet or not, you'll see this.
Just over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs in that boat. I could tell because Don Jr. was watching it on his phone.
That boat, and you'll be seeing that, and you'll be reading about that.
Really? You shot out a boat? You shot out a boat full of drugs? Was it some sort of launching mechanism or?
It happened moments ago, and.
Okay, sorry. U.S. sinks, I presume. Boat, drugs, Venezuela, I guess? What do you think? Is that what he's talking about? Trump says U.S. military shot out boat from Venezuela. Trump says U.S. destroyed drug boat from Venezuela. This is 3 hours of Miami. U.S. military strikes vessels carrying drugs from... Okay, so here's Reuters actually saying this, kind of. Okay. U.S. military kills 11 people in strike on alleged drug boat from Venezuela. Hope you didn't fuck up, buddy. U.S. military killed 11 people on Tuesday. Well, congratulations, Peace President. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, in a strike on a vessel from Venezuela allegedly carrying illegal narcotics. Allegedly. I guess, are we sending down, like, divers to check? In the first known operation since his administration's recent deployment of warships in the Southern Caribbean, Trump told reporters, we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. You know what? I take it back. It does sound dumber when you read it. And there's more where that came from. Oh, shit. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. These came out of Venezuela. He later shared a video from his Truth Social, appeared to show footage from overhead drones of a speedboat at sea exploding and then on fire. The strike resulted in 11 terrorists killed in action. No U.S. forces were harmed or killed. He added the U.S. military had identified the crew members as members of a Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, what, with fucking binoculars? Which they designated a terrorist group, which again, I told you fuckers, I said this, didn't I? Like, this is going to be his reason why he can bomb inside Mexico. Same shit. Like, if every drug dealer on the planet is a terrorist, then the laws about the war on terror, which still stand, allow him to blow up whatever the fuck he wants. If you could just declare, yeah, exactly, but Genocide Joe, Jesus fucking Christ. The Pentagon has not released the specifics about the attack, you think, including what kind of drugs were on the board, or the quantity, or how the strike was carried out, or how they fucking knew. The decision to blow up a suspected drug vessel passing through the Caribbean instead of seizing the vessel and apprehending its crew is highly unusual and evokes memories of U.S. fight against military groups like Al-Qaeda. Exactly, that's what it's supposed to fucking do. United States deployed warships and blah, blah, blah. Okay, Tuesday's strike appeared to be the first such military operation in the region to that effect. 7 U.S. warships, Coast Guard, Naval Forces warships, including the military, has been spy planes. Speaking to reporters, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, these particular drugs were probably headed to Trinidad or some other country in the Caribbean. So wait a second. We're not stopping and arresting drug traffickers because we're blowing them up because drugs are a scourge in America and it's an emergency, and this boat was going to Trinidad and we just blew it out of the fucking water because, trust me, bro, holy shit. And he's just dropping this like, watch this, boss as fuck. Look at this guy's face though. Well, and even Katie Britzo are like, I don't know if I bring up
Our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran.
Oh yeah, Mr. What's his name? The general, the great general, the head of the Chiefs of Staff. He was awesome. Remember him? What's his name?
Knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come, I think.
knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. All right, the words basically fall into place.
Within a month, they would have had it if we didn't do what we did.
Oh, within a month. Wow. So he's shortening the timeline for when Iran would have had nukes as he speaks. Okay.
He gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So.
Uh-huh. You like oil, and you don't want it, you want control of it.
We took it out, and you'll get to see that.
Great. I look forward to seeing a boat blown to pieces and 11 people being killed extrajudicially. Were they firing on us? That should be part of the question, right? Were they... Hold on. So, let's see. Footage of boat, Trump, Caribbean, blown up. I don't know. Fuck. U.S. military strikes suspected drug vessel as warships gather in the Caribbean. That's the boat. I don't see them shooting anybody. I don't see any bullets flying. I see people at a relatively medium speed cruising. Do we ever see? That's the boat from the. Yeah, it's a drone shot. Jesus Christ. How about no, you dumb motherfucker? Like, they're not firing on anyone that, like, according to Marco Rubio, they weren't going to America insofar as they knew. Yeah, it's just a fucking execution. You don't even, again, how do you know that everybody on that boat is participating in what's going on? How do you know, for, like, who's doing it under duress, for fuck's sake? Yeah, that's fucking terrible. But hey, uncommitted, great work. Great work. I think you're right. I think Harris probably would have sent warships and nuclear subs down to Venezuela to blow fucking boats out of the water. She probably would have done that. Biden probably would have done the same thing. You know, he was probably only weeks away from joking about, you know, Biden Plaza Gaza. And I'm sure Harris couldn't wait to let just, you know, Netanyahu just rip and fucking tear, right? She was equal. I mean, it doesn't really matter who's running things. What changes? Whatever changes. Never mind that this strike was the first of its kind and completely just an extrajudicial assassination of 11 people. You have fucking nowhere, like no idea where they came from or where they were going. No legal element of it at all. They just blew up a fucking boat with a trust me bro argument using, by the way, the war on terror for a drug trafficking boat where people are not engaged in any kind of direct violence at the time. That they could have, by the way, pulled over, seized, dumped the drugs in the water, put the guys back in the boat and told them to go home, and it probably, the end for them would have been the same, but not at our hands. It's a fucking crime. So everybody, all the Genocide Joe fuckers, congratulations. Just add that to your fucking death count. Because and anybody who's like, well, that would have happened anyways. I mean, basically, what's the difference? What's the fucking difference? Besides everything? Whew. Gotta feel good about that, don't you?
After this meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please?
Yeah. How the fuck do you know that those people were drug traffickers? How the fuck do you know that the people on that boat were there of their own free fucking will and there weren't guns held to their parents and their friends and their kids' heads to make sure they made the drop off? How do you know that there weren't people who were just trying to escape back to Trinidad who were catching a ride on that, who just ended up I guess, collateral damage in the war on a new version of terror. For fuck's sake. Hold on one second. I've got to... Sometimes I feel... There we go. Where are we? Yeah. Why is this? There we go. Okay, here we go. This business. No, why is it the wrong one? Oh, I know why. Okay. So 3, there we go. And... Yeah, there we go. All right. One of my buttons shifted around. You know how that happens. All right. Oops.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Tuberville talked about the cost savings associated with this announcement. Can you talk about the strategic benefits by having Space Force Command headquartered in Huntsville?
Yes, tell him. Yes, explain the strategic benefits.
It just works because we have so much else there. And having a central, you could call it a central command, but it really is.
You mean like a CENTCOM?
Command station. Also, even locationally, where it is and...
yes, locationally, which isn't a word, but...
When you think about flying distances, if you can save a half an hour as fast as some of these planes go and things go, and even the rocket...
Huh? Sorry, what? Look, Florida's too far and they can't stop in Houston. Sorry, these rockets have to fly an extra half an hour? What are you talking about? You don't actually think they're going to take off and land from there like airplanes, do you? They're not airplanes, you dumb motherfucker. This is space. What the fuck? You know, these rockets, you know, as fast as they go, that extra half hour makes a real difference. Well, obviously you would just change their re-entry window, wouldn't you? So they would land, they wouldn't have to travel over something to...
Let's go. If you can save by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had...
Yeah, you did. He went out to experts.
4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location.
Wow, 4 different groups of experts. So we're back to trusting experts again. Don't tell that to the CDC.
I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard, and there's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states...
He means the politicians and the companies that are already there, Boeing and all that. They have facilities there. They fought for it. He doesn't mean the people of Alabama. He means those people from Alabama that are standing right behind him.
5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And
wow, they were competing with 4 other states?
I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot.
See what I mean? Like, he's not kidding. They think it's funny. They think he's playing with them and stuff. He's not. He genuine. You can tell. He's like, this sucks. Did I even have to do this?
All they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather.
He says this with Hegseth and stuff too. Like, all he wanted to talk about was the military. There are a lot of people, they just want to talk to you about the military. They don't want to talk about anything else. Like, because you hear them yawning when you start blathering about how the election was stolen.
They only wanted to talk about moving to this location, moving to Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So,
in particular, they weren't fine with my idea of just basically anywhere.
We're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
President Trump, something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see.
Also, by the way, this is bullshit. Somebody said, Ducey, you get to ask him the thing about being dead. But there's no fucking way. How in the world would the President of the United States not know that the biggest trending thing on Twitter, Elon Musk's shit platform, is that he's dead? And that it was taken seriously by a bunch of his followers for a while. Like, there's no fucking way he doesn't know. It's dumb. There's no way that they're not going to, like, hey, you've been out of the fucking public eye. except our bullshit fake golf photos for a little bit. People, and you look fucked up right now. Somebody's going to bring it up. So we told Ducey he can bring it up, and then you can bat it down and act like you never heard of it. The idea that you don't know anything about it is just nuts.
For a couple days, 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that.
See that? I didn't see that. Lie.
I've heard it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well.
He did one.
And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get...
By the way, they're teeing that up so that he can have some time off. Every time he says and he's gotten it longer. Everybody else says you wouldn't see Biden for weeks, which was never true. But he's like, you wouldn't see him for months. Yeah, the exaggeration is there for the laugh, but the idea is to buy himself some time. So if he does disappear for a week, it's like, you guys let Biden go. Leave me the fuck alone. I got tubes up my ass.
Reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths.
Poignant truths. He doesn't type those up. He's got a whole team, Dan Scavino and all those guys. They sit and listen to him blather, and then they put them in truth form, and they fake all of his caps and his, and he checks them, and then they send them out.
I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend.
I've been pretty active over the weekend. Actually, you weren't.
That one, that's pretty serious stuff.
I'm glad it's
well, it's fake news. It's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility.
First of all, it's not the fucking media, dumbass. The media has nothing to do with it. This is social media. Why don't you say that? That social media, you just can't trust what's on social media. You can't say that because he wouldn't be president without it. Without that, this giant bullshit avalanche that he can get at with the press of a button.
I knew they were saying, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, it's Labor Day weekend.
It's sort of a longer weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody takes it off without saying anything and cancels all the shit they've got going on, and then only does an hour and a half interview where you're sitting the entire time, where they don't see you walk in and out because maybe you can't.
I would say a lot of people. No, I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that.
Very active. Notice he doesn't say I played golf with my granddaughter. I played golf with this, because it's not true. That's why he's not. I think he suspects that people can tell when he's lying, and so he's much more comfortable just with bullshit and obfuscation, just generic language. I did lots of things. Rolled over, took a shit, rolled back over it.
Go ahead, Peter.
Something else. We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly.
Hey, the school shootings is not the fault of a school. It's not I don't know what to tell you. The lunches here suck, and the kids aren't doing well on the English proficiency exam, so we've got to send a shooter. It's not the school's fucking fault.
About you can do things construction-wise, and that's really I think.
What a moat? We're gonna build a fucking we got to put a wall around the schools. Of course, it's a little hard to get out.
Nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors. with
Construction doors, sure. We can construct some construction doors. Yeah, I think you can buy a kit.
lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these...
Sorry, the safety doors do what? Hold on. Why is this not coming back? There you go.
doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else, well...
The doors lock on the outside and on the inside? What kind of doors are these? And every place else. So the hinges lock, the...
But if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place. And it's...
Okay, that's like, I think that's sort of a Uvalde reference. No, they're not. They can get in if they need to. Also, how about this? How about electronic locks with a keyed backup, and the police always can open it? Like they have, just like their pass for the station also opens the school. And so any police officer who has a key card to go in the station, which they all do, can open the doors at the school with a key card. Do I have to think of everything? I'm fine with doing that. Chat room, does that seem insane to you? As opposed to doors that lock on the inside, the outside, and all over the place. Yeah. It's so fucking dumb. And by the way, the kids that were praying, it was a Catholic school though. So they're equating this to school shootings. Yeah. And he went through, he fired through the window, but he didn't get in because the doors were locked. The odd thing about him bringing up the safety doors is that one of the reasons why the shooter was not able to kill more kids was because he had planned to enter the school and then didn't realize they had put in, they locked the doors when everybody was inside. It's why he shot through the window and then ran away and killed himself. Just saying.
A lot of disadvantages to doing, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's, if you work too hard to make the schools secure, it's like banks, you know what I mean? Like if somebody gets inside of a bank, the whole banks are, are really, they're built to be hard to get into, which sometimes means they're hard to get out of. And we just can't do anything about bank robberies anymore because they get in there and then they just hang out.
I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love...
he wants to arm the teachers.
Children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children, too. And if you...
Some a little too much.
A small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry... that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. I'd have to be studied, but they're trained.
Dude, you won't even let them study gun violence. You think they're going to let them do a study on how long it takes for somebody like me, who was in high school, was a bit of a pill, let's just say, to find that gun and get into the locked desk drawer they keep it in? Or like copy the I don't know, whoever it is, the gym teacher's fingerprint and use it on the fingerprint lock and get in there and get the gun? Are you kidding me? When does that happen first? Before the next shooter.
They know about weapons.
Here's a good idea. I'm gonna throw this out there. One is the key card idea I had for cops and first responders. They should be able to get in there without having to have somebody buzz them in. Their card actually shows who they are and what time they enter and and when they leave, they have to check out basically later on, unless it's an emergency. They have to run to the hospital or something. They check in when they got there. So they picked up somebody and they took them there. So you have a sort of a chain of evidence, as it were, in where they were and their access to the school. The other thing is you got cameras all over the fucking place. One of the good things that AI can do is spot armed people. It can pick out people who shouldn't be on campus and just let people know. There's a person who parked in the parking lot approaching the building. They have a gun. That's small potatoes for AI right now, and some of the most basic stuff. It's already in use in a lot of military bases on the outside. It's not a violation of privacy to have it tracking human beings and seeing if that human being has a gun. It's also not a violation of privacy if somebody is walking in the open into a school to have it look at their face and go, hey, why is this person in the parking lot? It's a school. There are children there. Extra protections are there. We're not talking about a mall. We're not talking the parking lot of a strip club or a church or a fucking Starbucks. It's a school parking lot. There are children there. So having that extra layer of protection of facial recognition software is just like having somebody standing there, with a gun that person could take and kill. So you got an armed National Guard person. They're always there. They march up and down in the parking lot and do their thing, or they sit in a chair or whatever the fuck and do their job, bless their hearts. And then the person who wants to, formulate a plan to do something, just waits till they're on their rounds and they know which way they walk every time. And then they just do that person in from far away, take their weapon and their key card or whatever they use to get into the school, and then break into school. Now they've got an extra gun. And because they're National Guard, probably a fully automatic gun. It's a stupid plan. Use every technological barrier you possibly can, and then have fallback positions for the safety of the students. If you want to use billions of dollars and stuff, like bulletproof glass everywhere, the generalized plexiglass, because it'll stop a bunch of other shit too. If you're in Kansas, it'll stop, it won't break apart like regular glass in a tornado, that kind of shit. Like, fuck me.
Can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, but I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just, we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have, there's something going on, and it's a bad thing. Yeah.
There's something happening here. And it's a bad thing. Maybe figure it the fuck out since you're the president. Go, well, yeah, there's something, I don't know. Somebody better do something about that, I guess. I don't know, the buck's over there. I don't even know how it got in here.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin in the past
I don't want to, I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
What? Have you spoken to Putin in the last few days? I've learned things in the last few days, and you'll find out. Cool.
Any consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President Putin and President Zelensky? And what could those consequences be?
We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week, they lost 7,000 between the two countries, 7,000.
Oh, my God. The number's always the fucking same. Like, do you even keep up, or are you just averaging?
313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yeah.
Wait.
Exact. 1,000 closely. Last week, they lost 7,000 between the two countries, 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact.
Somewhat exact. Also, bullshit. Okay. They have this thing where did Ukraine last week. Trump on the Constitution meeting, false claim about U.S. tariffs revenue claim. House committee releases a tranche of Epstein records as White House fights petition to release all the Epstein files. The Republican-led House Oversight Committee released more than 33,000 pages of documents related to the federal investigation of Jeffrey Epstein, the late sex offender. The records were posted online as the White House urged Republican lawmakers not to support a discharge petition from Thomas Massie. They're distracting with what's there. House committee tranche of Epstein files is White House fights petition to release this. Yeah. Asked by Jim McGovern, a Massachusetts Democrat, whether or not he supports the discharge petition, James Comer said on Tuesday there was no need for that vote since the committee had now subpoenaed the records. Massey told Axios on Tuesday the selection of documents released by the committee would not stop him from trying to get a majority of House members to sign and release all of the files. My staff has done a quick look at blah, blah, blah. Trump says U.S. military killed 11 members of Tren de Aragua in international waters off of Venezuela, which is just fucking what? Which he described the gang as a foreign terrorist organization operating under the control of Nicolas Maduro. So it's war. If we shot army guys of his, whether they're covert or overt, that's an act of war, I guess, against. So we're at war with Venezuela? Okay, cool.
For no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yeah.
Mr. President, have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit.
Hold on. So they managed to hit the same people every week. Okay. 7, 10, 24, Chicago. 3 hours. 8 people killed by gunfire over Labor Day weekend. He killed 51 injured. Labor Day violence, 54 shot. Okay, 6 dead, 20. So 6 dead, 27. What does he say? Hold on.
Murdered, and they had 24 people.
Hold on.
But the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9.
Hold on. So it was the first week, 6 were killed, 27 hit. The second week, it was 7 killed, 31 hit. And then last weekend it was there's a beef fight happening in Austin and in the South Side. So they're spraying each other with bullets is what's happening between 2 gangs or 2 groups or whatever mixed with some other shit. And it's escalating clearly over the weekends. The River North massive. Okay, that was yeah. So he's pulling the numbers out of his ass. He heard the 6 and 24, and he's kind of stuck on that. And then the next week it was 7 and 24, and then it'll be 50 and something, 9.
Killed,
something.
9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this.
It was 8, and it was 51 were injured. Hold on. Hold on. 8 killed, 51 more injured in Labor Day weekend shootings in Chicago. So this is, hold on. This is So this is the map of the weekend gun violence in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area. So this is 8/29 to 9/2 over the course of this. There are a couple of, 3 things up here. There's one in Rogers Park, Edgewater, these areas, Lincoln, Park, these are, I don't know do they list what they are? Number of victims, 1, 0 dead, 1 wounded. That was on Simmons. This is out here in the Austin area or close to it. One person who was 41 years old was injured in a shooting. These are the closest to downtown. These are south of Chinatown. This is downtown Chicago, by the way. This is what people think of as Chicago proper. So you can just see how gigantic the area is in general. But here's at 1 o'clock in the morning on Cottage Grove, there were 5 people shot, 1 wound, 5 victims, 17, 26, 33, 33, 36, 0 dead and 1 wounded. So they were shot at and they were treated and released, or one person was wounded to the point where they did, or 5. It's weird. It says 5 involved, but 0 dead. It's one of the dead. Yeah, 21 dead. These are single moments. Third is that's a gun sound. Like age is 29. Victim blind. 1 wounded. Maybe the green are dead. Yeah, the green markers are the dead people. So 2:52 a.m. 1 victim, age 33, dead on Elizabeth Street, and then there was one over here. 3 victims, 1 dead, 2 wounded, 41, 43, and 46. 1 person dead, unknown age. Curious about that one. And then this one right here, 2932, 2 victims, 1 dead, 1 wounded. These would be the deaths that happened over the weekend. And then, these like hang way down. And here's there's another dead person there. And are these nearby? These seem to be, there's a stack here. These were close by. This one's 1 dead, 0 wounded. And this is 1 dead, a 26-year-old and 46-year-old within a couple of blocks of each other. Maybe related? Sure. Let's see, 7 people were killed, 48 others injured across Chicago during the Labor Day weekend. Again, this adds a day, so that's why it's a bigger number than the average and why it's stretched out. The previous weekends were closer to half that because there was an extra day and another day off and blah, 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 and more people out and parties and, that kind of shit pops off. This is all the way out to Midway and here. Okay, so the idea that the Chicago police can't handle, shootings from Friday. First shooting of the weekend. Police responded, 7400 block. After 10:30, call of a person shot. A 43-year-old man was arguing with an unidentified man who then pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots at the victim before fleeing. The victim was hit in the left shin and taken to University of Chicago. Then just before midnight, 1 woman was killed and another was hurt in a shooting inside an apartment building in the 7700 block of South Essex. There's a domestic situation. This is very different than, look, all of these are sad, but you have to treat them, if you don't recognize what kind of crime they are, you will treat them all as the same and you will not solve any of them. That seems like a domestic, maybe not, we don't know. Shootings from Saturday. Okay, sorry. The apartment building. Once inside, they found victims 23 and 25 with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital. The 25-year-old was pronounced dead. The 23-year-old was in fair condition. They were speaking with a person of interest in that case. 1242, 27-year-old man with an unknown man approached on foot, pulled out a gun, fired multiple shots before fleeing in an unknown vehicle. Victim was hit in the left eye and was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center at 112th Street. 1:03 a.m. West 5th Avenue, and a man and a woman, both 35, were standing outside when they heard a loud noise and felt pain. It was hit in the right ankle, and the man, was hit. The woman was hit 4 times in the left leg and once in the right leg and was in serious condition. So somebody drove by and shot along their feet on the 4400 block of West 5th. That was both of them wounded. 1400 block of Trumbull, a 17-year-old boy was outside. He heard a loud noise, felt pain. The victim suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the body, was taken to Sinai. This is, it's Chicago, but the idea that this is what people think of as like downtown primarily and that it all fit in there as opposed to it's a longer weekend, so they're attributing more of the stuff that happens in those areas to the city as opposed to Des Plaines is in Chicago. No offense to Des Plaines.
Governor, get up, who's a terrible governor, probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say...
They definitely, by the way, gacked him up with more than the usual sedatives, or the benzos and Adderall that they give him. And it's weird, like he may be dragging so much that it makes him, before he would be made manic by it, now it's just kind of like a leveling him.
We don't want any protection. We don't need.
Yeah, that's not what they said at all. And they have protection. They've got police forces in Chicago. That's why they're talking to people, the persons of interest in these cases. There weren't going to be National Guards standing around in fucking parks in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning on the west side of Chicago. they just weren't.
The last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan.
Bullshit.
You can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close.
Wait a minute. Places that I can think of?
This. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now.
So it must be the Black Mayor thing? Is that what you're getting at? Seems like what you're getting at.
Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires.
I don't know. Look, it's one thing to get shot, but if the bullet's on fire, that's got to sting. The bullet fires. Look at the guy behind him. Sir, the bullet fires. And I feel bad for her. She's like, bullet fires. Google bullet fires when we... What the fuck? Wait a minute. Chat room. Bullet fires? I mean, look, I think it's... Is that what happens when, like, a Russian ammo depot gets hit by Ukraine? They get bullet fires? Bullet fires. God damn. Look, points Trump. That does sound bad. Bullet fires would suck. You think when it rains cats and dogs, it's a mess out there.
Right now, Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with. They should have had the water coming down, like I said.
What? Wait, what? I thought he was actually just making a mind flub about that there were bullets flying and there were fires, and then now apparently the Palisades was shot to death. I personally think Oswald acted alone when he shot the Palisades, but I'm gonna need to see all the files. Seriously, by the end of this, I may need a tinfoil hat. What the shit?
We had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to L.A. Mm-hmm. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville. And
also, by the way, fucking nonsense. Like, over this entire summer, I've had to go into LA for the jam and stuff. And when I leave, like, sometimes when I'm driving back late, I have to go to my rehearsal space that I use. And it's south of the city. It's like southeast of the city. In Vernon. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about Vernon. And I have to drive through downtown to get there unless if the 101's jacked up. I'll take surface streets down to Pico, cut through downtown. And you're right through the middle of downtown. And it's fucking crickets. It's actually nice. You know what it reminds me of is the end of the movie Collateral. When he's driving down the downtown streets. Have you ever seen there's a coyote that just walks across the street randomly? That happened on set, and they just filmed it and kept it. That really occurred while they were filming the movie. An actual coyote just walked through a street in downtown because there's fucking nobody down there most of the time. So this idea that it's been like this, like, oh my God, there were just riotous, it was like 28 days later in his fucking mind. And it just isn't. God damn.
Simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles.
Horse shit.
If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
That's what he said. When he said we couldn't have handled what?
On Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in.
Well, the courts just said he can't, so.
Look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing.
Yeah, it is.
Obligation. When 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me.
As opposed to rubber bands spitballs.
A little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are.
Well, you're actually in Washington, D.C. The Washington is sort of crucial.
It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great.
Well, I mean, present company excluded, I guess.
You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to.
Yeah, don't. Please, people from Iowa, do not go visit your favorite president and walk down the middle of the street with your children. I'm just saying, it doesn't sound smart. You can walk right down the middle of the street.
Shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, almost everyone that spoke in the room with you today clearly, I don't know any evidence of it, but clearly has some sort of massive head injury.
Maybe you were very brave and
they all talk like people who've been bonked over the head with a monkey wrench.
About it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C.
Just walking down the street. Apparently it's the roving gangs of old ladies.
D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open.
They've been open.
Booming. You can't get a restaurant, new restaurant.
You can't. That's right. I tried to get a restaurant. I thought they were just handing them out. But apparently, I think he means reservation. But I can't imagine why, like, one word would substitute for the other and he wouldn't notice that it had happened as he was speaking. I can't think of a single reason why that would happen. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe we could talk to a nurse practitioner or one of these hippies that hangs around with RFK Jr.
Announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe.
Did it? So you went out. That's why they didn't hear from you. You donned a disguise and went clubbing.
And this city was really bad, really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back.
Yeah, just trust me. 1,600 people gone. You know who they are. I mean, obviously, no one's showing up on the court docket, and we don't have arrest records, but just trust us. 1,600 people. Now, because Janine Pirro can't fill out a form, a bunch of them were released immediately, but only don't worry about it, only the white guilty ones.
Time soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week. You know, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many, many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week.
Not quite. Look at J.D. Vance. Actually, there were a couple people killed last week. We didn't find one of them till later.
Made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country, and I'm saying proudly.
Yeah, he's starting to sniff. It's coming to a close, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what?
To do what? You can't. Posse comitatus, motherfucker. You can't send troops in to enforce state and federal law. You can't do it. You can't.
People, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except
What do you mean one of your networks?
The opposite, I would say, very unfriendly
I see. The opposite of friendly is unfriendly. Someone write that down.
network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, who were black.
I always wondered what that word or that phrase meant. You know what I mean? I was like, are they talking about like? Because I understand they're white South Africans. They're technically, if they moved here, they're African Americans. I was very confused.
They were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it.
No, you don't. The courts just said you don't.
Because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore.
Yeah. He's doing the hard sniff is kicking in. He needs another dose. Whatever he was on is starting to wind down.
I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the worst.
Is it? Is Baltimore rated number 4 in the city? Is it true? I mean, I haven't seen the list of cities and how they're rated in the city. Is Baltimore? Yeah, it's 4th. They come in listed 4th in the city, right after sex.
One of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world.
In the city's list? What city would that be?
But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong.
Yes, you've watched them shower, we know. Like, you wanted to leave early, I understand, because you were already done, but JD wanted to hang around and give it a second go.
You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are...
Okay. He means, like, you can hire based on physical merit. This is his anti-DEI stuff. We had it's kind of talent, like a talent for being tall and thick. You know what I mean? Why aren't we applauding people who are born with the genes to be taller and bigger than everyone else? I don't understand. Now, granted, if they have to crawl through a small hole to get somebody out of there, like a kid trapped in a building, they're too fucking big for it, but I guess they could just run through the wall like the Hulk.
Put down based on merit.
Sorry. The better you are, the more rude we are to you. Put down. Look at JD Vance. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. They're like, I don't know what this means. Hold on. Sort of talent. You could be put down based on merit. All right.
Court that had to do with sort of talent.
Sort of talent. Okay. All right. We'll put this all in the sort of talent category. Then what?
It had to do with you are put down based on merit.
You're put down based on merit.
You can hire based on merit.
I can't. Okay. And then you have to put them down.
So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit,
thick neck, 9-inch cut, skinny ankles. Let's go there. 0 nunt. Obviously, JD's thinking, of course, leather cop outfit, big mustache. I mean, there's a lot of positives, but most of them are. I'm just saying, some of the biggest, strongest dudes I have ever met in my life were gay. So I'm just saying, I'm as straight as the law allows, and I'm 5'9", $165, fully clothed, soaking wet. But I have some gay friends who could bench press me, and some of them have tried. Jeez.
Something, having a certain ability.
Yes, a certain ability to be big and have a unibrow.
Person that is woke and got the job through woke. But
what if they're gigantic and they got the job through woke? Like, what if they're a big fucking veiny-necked trans woman who just rippling with shit and going, I'm going against type. I'm just jacking I'm on TRT and I'm on steroids, but I identify as a woman and I'm as tall as Andre the Giant. My wrists are the size of your thighs, but I am indeed trans and I have a gender studies degree. I'm like, God damn it. You know what? This might be a woke hire, but
it wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera,
et cetera. Yes. Yeah. He just finished watching Police Academy.
No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And
it wasn't a meeting. You were pretending to go on patrol with them. You handed out pizzas, you fucking moron.
When the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template.
Look, considering the misogyny of your average and the homophobia or the anti-gay rhetoric of your average criminal, I got to say, big burly gay cops and trans women policing the streets, especially the harder it is for them to pass. You know, I mean, just, I'm not talking about Blair White. I'm talking about some serious, like, I can't tell if you're a trans woman or a bass player in an 80s metal band. That kind of window. Big as a house, though, you know, Duff and cake size, you know what I mean?
And we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have...
Yes, Chicago is certainly going to be high, I suppose. Yeah. Well, they don't call it the Windy City for nothing.
Him call. I would love the governor.
The Pickle says trans women are the kindest people I know. I know, I'm being ironic about his whole ridiculousness about what his idea of strength is and what would actually scare the fuck out of these people. Because I got to tell you, a genteel, well-mannered trans woman just living their life is far more terrifying than some thuggish dickhead on his way to a UFC fight with Joe Rogan. They wouldn't be scared of anything that person could do to them, but somehow the trans lady would just drive them. Oh my God. And it's not a phobia. They're not transphobic. They're bigots. I will not stand for this. I will not talk about how like it's transphobia or homophobia. Bullshit. These people are bigots. They don't have an illness that makes them scared. Fuck off. They're misogynistic pricks.
I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They're going to be...
Yeah, so just like to say, all of the people who are like, you know, we got too many people incarcerated in America, and we've got to rehabilitate people and get them back into society. Trump is got a thumb on the scale of fuck that, people. I'm just telling you. The idea that we're going to turn in, institutes of rehabilitation, no. This is old-fashioned Republican, lock them up and throw away the key shit. For the record.
We're born to be criminals, frankly. They were born...
Jesus Christ. Well, why don't we just, if their parents are criminals, why don't we just force abortions on them or arrest the baby as soon as it comes out of the womb?
Be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it.
Really? They're that insane? Well, then maybe they belong in an institution. They won't remember they slit someone's throat yesterday? Was that Wednesday? I think they probably... Don't they brag about it? Isn't that the idea?
And we're not going to have those people. Washington.
Yes, we don't have them kind of now. I mean, certainly not on the scale you think we do.
Is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right?
Yeah, everything else. Clubs, and if they drive up in an old hearse going, Warriors come out to play. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how big you are. You're just going to like plots.
But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C.
Go for it.
Is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
Calling on Democratic leaders across the country to work with you on crime. Do you see your efforts here in D.C., including, for example, working with Mayor Bowser here as a model for bringing more...
Oh, by the way, these are all set up softballs, for the record. Every one of these go like Ducey likes to push things, so he brings, he went a little further, I think, than they would have wanted him to. But all of them are from friendly networks. It's like, he's not, NBC and those guys might be in the room, but he's only calling on people that are on the list that are going to be nice.
Partisanship. It matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives.
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles.
No, you didn't.
Great job there. And it was...
You sent in the trouble and you removed the trouble. That it wouldn't have been like that at all if you hadn't sent people in to stir up shit.
Overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done, there's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold.
Okay, fuck off. Like, we didn't have the National Guard during the LA riots before. They managed. Fuck off.
If we didn't do that...
And they had less shit then than they do now.
Would have been a very sad day. And remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250. All of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great... He's not... We're the ones that did it. And that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is But he got up and said, we did it. Well, he didn't want us there. And he's going to...
Right. And one of the things he says, when we did it, we got him the fuck out of here. We got Trump out.
This again, because it's starting to form again. I see it.
No, it isn't. It is not. Then you're a lunatic. Look at Vance. Like, every so often they cut back and they pull back away, and Vance is like, yeah, what? What do you mean? There aren't riots forming in Los Angeles again? He means the 250th anniversary of the country, Doug. Yeah.
Starting to form again. We have to maintain...
It's not. What? No, it isn't. No, it's not. Holy shit.
It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it. And if you...
Okay, asshat. It's constant gardening is the term you're looking for. It's not like... And by the way, don't bring up maintenance on an airplane when you flew around in Jeffrey Epstein's old plane.
Maintain it. A good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly.
Which is why his is sitting derelict on a runway.
So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat. But when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago and 54 were
8
badly wounded.
No, 51 were injured, whether related to the gun or not, like running from them, falling down, getting nicked, or really getting hit. That's a lot. And again, it's fucking Chicago.
I say, that's not this country. We have to do something.
It's been that way for a very long time, for forever. And again, that's the balance between the amount of freedom we want and the stuff that can happen when people are that free to do shit. When you have that again, you know how you could solve this? Create borders between states where people have to go through checkpoints to enter another state. And then you could keep the guns from flowing into Chicago and places like that from places like Missouri and Arkansas and Louisiana and Alabama, where they are bought in straw purchases, where the laws are really lax, and they make their way up to the city. but you can't, and we won't, and you don't, and that's how it happens.
And I do say this, I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help.
Not these assholes, obviously.
We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. You know, Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, you know, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force.
Look at this guy. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because the unemployment numbers were down. Everybody could get a regular job. There's a huge number of people who join the military because they don't have another option, both financially to go to school or just to get a job in the area and be around their family or their friends. So if you carve off all the legacy people who join, and the kids just like, if they have a couple of boys, one of them's going to be in the military, or a daughter, and she decides to follow in the family footsteps. That's how it works, right? That's where the baseline numbers come. But if you need more than that, it's usually people who don't have many other choices, or they would take them. Like they would, if you could work in a motor pool and get the skills to work on airplanes and not get shot and killed while that, you would take it, but that's not available. So you go into the military to get an education and to maybe get a career after it and stuff, and that's what it becomes. Well, when unemployment goes so far down that like jobs, you have a job, you're getting a decent wage, you don't have to join the military. That's why the numbers are down. The reason they're up is because in a bunch of areas, these assholes canceled things in red states specifically that were helping people get regular civilian jobs. Those are gone now. They were helping them get a regular civilian education. Those are gone now. So they joined the military.
The Navy, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard, we never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job, never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below what we wanted, every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the...
It's because it's the most macho, and it always attracts the people who want to be butch and in the military.
But every service was way down, way down. And then,
how is it true that Chinese students are not coming to make phones? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a flood of Chinese students coming over here to go to school and make phones.
Elected.
On the cheap.
Our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA.
Yeah. Like this.
Talking about the job that we're doing. Everybody, we're the best economy.
Yeah, they're all talking about it. I don't think in the way that you think they are.
We have a very, very important decision being made by the Supreme Court because our country...
Oh, the tariffs.
The richest, the strongest, the most powerful, but if...
The most debt, and you've added to it, Trump will be responsible for half of our debt by the end of his term. Easily.
For some reason, some liberal court, I'm talking about the court that just ruled, where even an Obama judge voted in favor of us, which I gave him a compliment yesterday, as you know. I said that took great courage. But it's a liberal court, and...
Also, he said, I don't know why he said this yesterday. How do you fucking even know what he's talking about?
Going up to the...
Like what? Maybe know the name of the guy you think it's a big deal. You know, Judge something other wrote blah, blah, blah. And I complimented it because it feels like you're just making it up.
Court, who I think have been incredible people. I think they've made very wise decisions. But the tariff question, because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble. We've taken in...
Well, yeah, because of your fucking tax cut. You think we're already in serious trouble with the tariffs. That's why you keep putting them on pause.
$17 trillion of investment is coming in. Most of it is coming because of tariffs. And if for some reason somebody wanted to be politically correct, I actually think it's unpolitically correct. I think politically correct is to approve it because there's nothing so popular as what's happened to our country. Our country is doing so well. But we had a liberal court gave us a very shocking ruling.
Not shocking at all. Totally within the Constitution. That's why the Supreme Court will ultimately side with them.
And that ruling is basically saying that the trillions of dollars that are pouring into our country, putting us in a position like no country is anywhere in the world, that they'd like to see us that taken away. By the way, a lot of the
hold on, real quick. 2 days ago, Trump was bitching about an Obama-appointed judge. He wasn't thanking him. He wasn't saying an Obama-appointed guy sided with him and he was happy about it. He was actually pissed. It's in a 7-4 opinion, a radical left group of judges didn't care, but one Democrat Obama appointed actually voted to save our country. That's what Trump voted. I would like to thank him for his courage. That's what he's talking about. In a social media post, 2 of the judges were dissented on Bush administration appointed, 2 were appointed by President Barack Obama. He doesn't name them. There were 2 that sided with him, and he just says it outright. Meanwhile, Trump, in 2023, let's see, former President Donald Trump just scored a legal victory from an Obama appointee who sided with Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. Robin Rosenberg, who was appointed by Obama in 2014, swiftly dismissed a case challenging Trump's candidacy just week. That was when they were going to keep him off the ballot. So he doesn't say who it was, though. Just was 7-4. Let the administration's so-called reciprocal tariffs on goods around the world stand until mid-October. Yeah, they weren't. I don't think he was for it. I think well, we'll have to see, because I don't know which one he's talking about. But one Democrat, Obama, it was 2, Obama appointed, actually voted to save our country, whatever, he was in the minority, because they disagreed on why it was illegal and how it should play out. Some of the dissent in it,
behind that
ultimately just garbage.
lawsuit, that particular, are from foreign countries, I might add.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residents upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a fake video?
Well, it's got to be, because I know every window up there. The last place
I know every window up there. I check them before I go to bed. I'm not paranoid at all.
be doing it is that, because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's, in fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you...
Yeah, I bet. I bet when you were in the room, she was like, Jesus Christ, open a window.
Yeah, they're bulletproof.
Gee, I wonder why Melania was like, do you think, Donald, we could perhaps, if you could please stop that, Donald. Donald, if you could open a fucking window. Oh, Donald, why? Please stop, Donald. Could we get some fresh air? Oh, fresh air in here, because I can't. Oh, can we? Odd job. I mean, Stephen, can you open a? Not you too.
And number one, they're sealed, and number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be. Where was the window? Let me see.
She shows it to him. This, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. There's someone showing an online video to the President of the United States for him to check and see if it's real.
Maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think.
Yeah.
So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't open them.
Well, apparently not.
What you were saying regarding the federal...
It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with...
It's the kind of thing they do.
Yeah, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI.
This is, all right, occasionally he will say things that he has obviously said to his group when Epstein stuff is coming up, or a picture of him with somebody from Epstein is coming out. If something bad happens, just blame AI. Just say it was AI. Like, he has clearly said this to his people, and now it's just falling out of his fucking dome because he can't not.
But also they create things, you know. It works both ways.
What? AI creates things because it works both ways. Look at Vance, like, what?
Something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI. But there's truth to it because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was...
Did you? What? You saw something from when you were a baby to now. I love these guys. They're like, he's like, I'm going to try, maybe if I lean this way, I'll understand what he's saying. And this guy's like, I'm just going to let the words just wash over me. You know, just absorb them with my eyes closed. Maybe they'll make more sense if I don't look at him. Run that by me again? Shit.
Truth to it because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little...
What? Oh, hold on. So he means he saw a video that was like him from a childhood picture to now, and they fade between them, those videos they make of people aging or jumping between pictures, and he's like, who did that? It's AI. Like, yeah, nobody had a camera on you the whole time, asshole. What? The question is...
It's scary, to be honest.
It is scary watching you age.
With you, but those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Wait, back up. Hold on. I gotta... Is there... Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, he's talking about... Oh, I don't think he's talking about the baby videos. I think he's talking about the videos where they take pictures and they tie all the pictures together. You know what I mean? Holy God. Oh, checking. We'll do it live. There we go. Trump says video of object tossed out a window is probably AI after White House implied otherwise. Of course. A video posted online Monday of a black bag being heaved out of a second-story window at the White House was probably AI generated. President Trump told reporters on Tuesday when asked about it. Trump added that such a video couldn't be real because you can't open the windows in the White House. They're all heavily armored and bulletproof. Trump's comments on the viral video came hours after the White House officially gave Time a statement that implied the video's content was real and that it showed a contractor doing regular maintenance. The video was originally posted on Instagram and called the Washington Probs and spread widely on social media, prompting jokes about the White House security protocol and speculation about what was being thrown out of the window. It shows a person wearing white pants stepping a foot out on the windowsill on the second floor of the White House and tossing down what appears to be a black plastic bag. Later, someone tosses something long and white out the window. The second floor of the White House is where the president's private residence is located. It's a contractor who was doing regular maintenance while the president was gone. What, throwing out bags of old diapers? Yeah, so that's, the White House said it was real.
Who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary.
He's talking about just like people making like those reels where they, show someone at their young self meeting their old self.
Honest with you, but those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Nope. According to the White House, when they gave an official explanation, they said it was just regular maintenance while the president was out. Apparently, they're all heavily sealed except the president's private residence. I don't know how that's supposed to make you feel. Also, one would think that they would be escapable, so you don't get sealed in a fucking fire. You know what I mean? Like it can be arranged that they can be opened, so you could get the fuck out. I suppose.
Mr. President, I want to follow up with what you were saying regarding that federal appellate court that ruled against you and your administration as it relates to your ability.
Well, they ruled against our country.
Yeah, totally. They hate America.
Board.
Because they, you know what I mean? Because America would be so much better without that stupid fucking Constitution.
Ruled against us before. It's a very liberal court.
You called it highly partisan in your
Well, it
social
certainly
media
is. It certainly
and
is.
in fact, it was along ideological lines, 7-4.
Well, except that we actually got one of the Obama judges that was appointed by President Obama.
Two of them.
Put it in favor of the tariffs because he felt it was imperative for our country to thrive and survive even.
Is that what he wrote? Is like, this is imperative for us to thrive and survive.
And I gave him credit. I said, you know what? That took a lot of courage for him to do it because you don't see that often.
So my question is, I suspect you're going to appeal that all the way to the Supreme Court.
Well, we already have, yeah. In fact, we're doing something else. We're going to be going to the Supreme Court, we think tomorrow, because we need an early decision. I mean, look, the financial fabric of our country.
No, they got to start fighting it now because they're held until October. You just, Jesus.
We're a rich, incredible country right now. And
yeah, our debt's going up faster than it ever has. The deficit is almost double what Biden had. But yeah, rich, powerful.
We're able to, other countries use tariffs on us for years, and we never did. I did a lot during my first term, but then we had COVID and we had to focus on other things. You couldn't be tariff.
Yeah, you can't tariff while you're
Italy, Spain, France, as they were dying by the thousands and millions.
No. Well, you'd be thinking of America under your watch.
We did with China, and China paid us billions and billions of dollars. And I started the process, but then I had to end it a little bit because of COVID. We focused on that. But no, it's a very important decision. And frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it would be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And by the way, all these countries signed.
Nope.
As an example.
Nope.
They're all happy. Everybody's happy.
Nope, they're not. They have not signed agreements.
But some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court. And the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4, with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for.
Also, I haven't had time to read the dissent, but hold on. Let's see. This is going to drive me crazy, and I got stuff to do tonight. I have to go over to Summer's son's place and install a ceiling fan this evening. I'll have you know. Let's see. Sorry. Dissenting. Whoops. Opinion in Trump tariff something, whatever. Supreme Court, Trump's tariff push overstep presidential powers. In the dissenting, let's see. The ruling offsets the tariffs are core. The ruling offsets two sets tariffs are imposed. Prior ruling, in a dissenting opinion, the four judges who voted against the ruling, who include Kimberly Moore, the court's chief judge, argued the International Emergency Powers Act had been appropriately used by Trump in relation to the tariffs. Adding to the dissent, Circuit Judge Richard Toronto said, "We conclude that IEEPA, you're welcome, authorization of presidential action in this realm is not unconstitutional delegation of legislative authority under the Supreme Court's decision, which have upheld broad grants of authority, including tariffing authority in this foreign affairs related area." Administration. Neil Katyal, an attorney. Okay, Neil was one of the people who was one of the plaintiffs, attorney for the plaintiff. Win for Constitution, the founders. Uncertainty. Okay, so in the dissenters. Highly probably we know the United States will win in the end. Including Kimberly Moore, Chief Judge, argued the international immigration was appropriately used in relation to the tariffs. We conclude it was not an unconstitutional delegation of legislative authority under the Supreme Court's decisions. I don't know what they're referencing there, and they're just giving a little slice of it, which have upheld broad grants of authority. Okay, that's the point was it's overly broad. That's what.
The admittance we're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because. When you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that. Because the stock market needs.
Let's see. Down. Whoops, sorry. Quit it. Dow Industrial Average. That kind of. The stock market 5-day buy. It's actually. And it's down. It was down Friday. It's gone back up. Is that the idea that they ruled against it and this is what's going to drive it down because they think they're going to lower interest rates and people want to put their money elsewhere? Tuesday, September 2nd. There you go. So today, over the weekend it went down a little bit, and then it came back up about halfway. It's up 58 points today in the past 5 days overall. And the 1 day basically broke even. Down 249 today, but over the last 5 up. So, all right, I'm almost there.
The tariffs, they want the tariffs. If you look at AI, all of those, all of that money that's going to be invested.
Oh, yeah.
To trillions and trillions of dollars, the biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things combined.
Yeah, what would those other things be? Fire, latex condoms, obviously not vaccines.
We are leading very substantially with AI. We're leading because of tariffs. We're leading because of talent, and this is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments of the companies coming in. So,
what? Look at Steve. Look at Ducey. Like, they're already here. Like, NVIDIA's an American company. What? Play silly.
You took away tariffs. We could end up being a third world country. That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
As a backstop to that, President, you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60 votes. We don't have 60 votes.
You
I'd love to
think you
do
can get
that.
enough
Oh,
votes?
if we had 60 senators, if we got the 60 votes, we would get them.
If we had 60 votes, women would be property again. If Republicans had 60 votes in the Senate.
But we need 60 votes, and we need, a certain number in the House.
Certain number?
I think we'd get, I don't know, we have about 5 of them here. Would everybody agree with me on tariffs? Without tariffs, we're a different country. We have taken in.
Yeah, nobody's saying you get rid of tariffs, just not the willy-nilly, rampant, chaotic bullshit version of things. You establish them. You actually negotiate what they really will be. And you don't, in your slapdash attempt to get something on the books, give Japanese car makers a better deal than American car makers have.
So much money. And here's the thing. We signed a deal with Japan. They're paying us hundreds of billions of dollars.
No, they're not.
We signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the European Union. We signed a deal with Europe.
To buy the stuff they were gonna buy anyways.
And those countries are paying us $950 billion, and they're happy about it. They're okay. As one of them said,
as we lose $3 trillion. The European Union deal has a collaborative investment scheme in it where we're gonna contribute $2.5 to $3 trillion in European investment in exchange. Now, the math is squirrely because it's not an actual treaty or an actual trade agreement. It's just kind of like a statement of purpose. It's just generically like, this is what we're kind of going to do, but it doesn't have to happen.
Amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries.
The Japan thing, like, I was waiting on this day. You were going to call me on my bullshit.
And they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back.
Why? Why wouldn't you just apply it to defense-related chips? That's the only thing that's dragging them here, is that there's an embargo on selling chips to China and to India and to, some other countries without direct clearance because of the dual purpose use of them, because they can be used for military purposes. That's why.
To countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years. And I can't imagine it happening. On a legal basis, they have no legal basis whatsoever.
Just that stupid Constitution thing.
but on a common sense basis, it would destroy America. Okay.
All right, he's almost like this doesn't get any better. He just goes. I want to show you the tail end though. Because we'll just skip ahead. It's like, again, most of this is just random bullshit. But let's see if we go here. Yeah, this will be the tail end of. He's gonna like they call him out on something.
People that you already have in place, they can continue to be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled.
Oh, right. So the judge said you can't send troops into these places, and it said, but the judge said the troops that are there can stay, but if the city asks them to leave, they have to go. It's as stupid as fucking. If they can stay if the people are okay with it, basically. If they're there and they're helping, but you can't do that in the future. Like it's a violation of posse comitatus or habeas corpus. Posse comitatus? Posse comitatus. And there's a concern about people who are arrested being denied habeas corpus. Because of military.
Exactly as you said, except the judge said that you could leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have to do. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
Thank you
watch
very
this.
much.
They cut it off. Motherfucker. I have to show you the other one real quick. Let me go back to this. Trump talking to the thing. Where is he? Trump today remarks. Let's see. Yeah. So they'll go to the tail end of this. Yeah, okay, they cut that off too. Everybody's been cutting off the fact that they don't show him leaving.
Fair. Yeah, and Mr. President.
Okay, so here's the. Yeah, so. Yeah, so they say goodbye to everybody. Here you go. He cops out.
Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, normally he
Thank
would
you
just
very
walk out
much.
the door or they would take off, but he doesn't. He stays close to the podium, turns around with his back to the audience, and basically just rotates on one foot. Because the idea that his right leg is fucked up, and that's what he's doing. And so they're herding everybody out of there, and he's basically just standing there, and he grabs this guy, but he's just kind of waddling back and forth. That's it, standing still. And then they cut. They cut before. Yeah, they cut before he leaves. They are not showing, and it stands out that they are not showing him coming and going. Anyways, we got through it, and so did he, apparently. But again, obviously not firing on all cylinders. Obviously, doing this during the good window. We'll see if he continues to improve from whatever happened last week that they were hiding him from everybody. The Republicans, the 33,000 documents they released is it's like a repeat of that handing out the binders. It's a way to fucking cover so that they don't have to release the rest of the stuff, which is the Trump stuff. Yeah. So, and I'm sure we'll talk about that as we go forward. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I got to run off and go do some honey-do list stuff, which reminds me, I got to take my knives with me. And I will see you guys later on. Actually, I don't need this one, but I will need the wrench one. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. The White House version also cut out CSL. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, they're just not showing him entering or exiting anywhere. They don't want to show him walking any length of space. And again, it wouldn't, if he hadn't been so secretive and fucked up, nobody would care. But it's pretty obvious that they're trying to cover for the fact that he's a mess. And I've told you one thing, this is an inevitability. It is not going to improve. There is nowhere but down for Donald Trump, mentally and physically. Not that there aren't technologies and medicines and therapies and treatments available. It's just that he's too lazy and stupid to hang with any of them, to do any of them. I mean, look at who his fucking old doctor was, and his new one's Ronnie Jackson. Dr. Feel Nothing. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. Don't forget to hit that like. I mean, we're killing it right now. Killing it right now. We just need 100,000 subscribers. So if you're watching wherever you are, go to the YouTube channel, infotainmentwars.com, and subscribe, will you? Infotainmentwars.com will take you right to the page. Just subscribe and give us that little gift. It doesn't take much. I don't ask often enough. But we got to get there. All right, I'll see you soon.